The first time I saw Claire, I sat across from Robin, my girlfriend, on the third floor of the UC library. I heard the scrape of her boots as she appeared, doing a jumping jack half in and half out of the elevator door, hiking up her already short skirt. Claire looked to the right and then to the left, and when she didn't find her friends, she stepped back into the elevator like a soldier. Robin noticed her as well. How couldn't she? She reached across the table, squeezed my hand and said, "Sociology, Jimmy," reminding me that I was the guy with tiny nostrils, flat feet, and caterpillar eyebrows. The second time I saw Claire, Robin and I sat side by side on the second floor. I heard the heels of her boots marching towards us. I looked up and she handed me a flyer for a play, Hedda Gabler, starring Claire Anderson. "It's next week," she said, giving Robin a polite smile and walked to the next table. I put the flyer under my notebook and pretended to study. A white heat permeated my body. "James," Robin paused, making sure Claire was out of earshot. "You know she has slept with the entire lacrosse team." "I didn't know we had a lacrosse team." "I heard she stripped at amateur night at the Garden," she continued. Was that supposed to deter me? She's in my women's study class, and she has a deranged post-feminist view of sexuality. I think she's totally insecure and needs loads of attention. And that makes her different. How? "I'm just saying," Robin said. On the opening night of the play, I gave myself a hard, long look in the mirror. Not too bad, I thought. As a kid, I looked like Eddie Munster, with jet black hair, widow's peak, and a unibrow. But by 21, I'd lengthened out a bit, and my broad shoulders and short neck looked less foolish. I tucked my black shirt into my black pants and loaded my camera when I heard Robin's voice in the hallway. "Hey," I opened the door. "You look nice," she walked in. "I thought you were at the library." "I was. Didn't we make plans for tomorrow night?" "We did," she said, "but I'm dying for Chinese." "I thought I might go to that Ibsen play," I replied. "Theater?" she laughed. "Do you even know where the Theater Arts Center is?" "I heard it's supposed to be good." "From whom?" she asked. "All your theater-going friends?" "Just the other day," I said. "I overheard someone talking about it." "You know she gave that flyer to every guy on campus." "I don't even know what you're talking about," I replied. "Fine," she stood up. "Do you mind if I join you?" Of course I minded. I hoped to see Claire after the play, maybe even take a few pictures of her. It seemed so perverse to go with Robin, but every cell in my body propelled me to go. I couldn't not go. I dropped my camera on the bed and followed her out the door. A student with a flashlight ushered us to the two last seats. Claire appeared on stage in a Victorian gown. Black coal amplified her eyes, her red hair slicked back like a boy. She paced from the chaise lounge to a small writing desk. With spit flinging from her mouth, her angry snarl, and her arms and neck covered in black lace, her rendering of Hedda looked more punk rock than 19th century. I suppressed a smile. Claire was unafraid to look ugly, her face twisted with anxiety and pain, leaving her unmasked. I would later learn that this was the reason she photographed so well. Until then, I thought that girls only wanted to look pretty. From the back row, I studied all of her nuances. And when she left the living room with a gun, I actually believed that this person had enough demons to take her own life. When the gun popped off stage, there was no fake blood. We never saw her fall to the ground or even heard a scream. But I imagined her crumbled on the floor, lifeless. The theater was silent, A burgundy curtain swept shut, then reopened. The cast appeared holding hands. They bowed. Their bodies turned to Claire, who was in the center of the chorus line, and a wild applause encouraged her to take one step forward. I banged my hands loudly. After the play, Robin and I drank beers in an L-shaped bar in the basement of the theater. Robin saw a few of her friends. They spoke in low voices, arms crossed over their chests, while my eyes fled around the room looking for her, and my ears listened for her name. Most people seemed pleased by Claire's portrayal of Hedda. Maybe one or two thought she had overdone it, but overall, it was thought a success. Then suddenly, I heard Claire's strained voice behind me. I pushed the sweat from my forehead into my hair. Robin immediately looked at me, and I took a generous sip of my beer. "What did you think?" Claire tapped my shoulder. "Tragic story," I said, not really sure what I was saying. "About me, of my performance," she purred. "Very believable." Robin, suddenly beside me, chimes in, "Yes, well done." "James," Claire said, "would you mind getting me a drink? Champagne." I looked at Robin for permission. She held a full beer and seemed to be saying, yes, you can go. So I said, "I'll be right back." I walked to the bar in a daze. Claire Anderson knew my name? Sweat ran from my forehead, and I felt damp rings around my armpits. I had to move quickly. What could they possibly be talking about? The bar swarmed with thirsty patrons. I wedged myself between a couple who sat on swiveled stools. "Do you mind?" I pleaded. They must have seen my desperation because they looked at me like I was a dying man and said, "Go for it, dude." With champagne in hand, I rushed back. "I was just talking to Claire how she prepared for her role," Robin said, practically winking. "I wanted to feel like an outcast," Claire said, "so I've been working a few nights at the garden to really step outside myself. You know, to go beyond the social norms." "Interesting," I said. "You didn't find that degrading?" Robin went for the throat. "Selling yourself like that?" "I wasn't selling myself," Robin corrected her. "I was exploring my own sexuality, and it felt empowering being in control." "Cheers to that," I chimed in. Claire clinked my glass and headed back to her friends. "Cheers to that," Robin mimicked me. "Well, what did you want me to say? Cheers to being a stripper? How's about here's to being on the pole? Can we go now?" Over Robin's shoulder, I can still see Claire giving me the eye. "I should say goodbye," I said. "She did invite me here." Point to one guy she didn't invite here. I didn't care who else she invited. I wasn't ready to go. How could you be friends with a woman like that and date a woman like me? Robin waited for an answer, but I had no reply. She looked at me in utter disbelief, then stormed off. I felt ashamed for betraying her, but the other thing inside me felt unimaginably good to finally be alone. My beer progressed into a Jack and Coke, and a three-piece band set up in the corner. I tapped my finger on the bar in time with the bass. "James," Claire's voice projected from across the room, "come, sit with us." Thank you.